If I were a rich man.
Brand new Mercedes, a boat, a yacht, a helicopter, a private jet. How much is enough to feel secure?
It's about, isn't it, your relationship with your money?
What you give unconditionally will come back immediately. If we raise our consciousness, we'll have a better place.
What you're describing is how to be a great person.
I get whole life security of money for the rest of my life.
Wow. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever wanted a better relationship with your money, or more specifically, to have more of it, then do we have the Happy Money Show for you. Today I'll be talking with Ken Honda, one of the most best-selling money experts and authors in the world, about one of my all-time favorite books, Happy Money. And that's just what I want to talk with him about today, about your money type, your money blueprint, your money EQ, and how you can get in the money flow. That plus we'll talk about being born on planet poverty, arigato and magokoro, how to be a happy little millionaire, and why on earth owning a dry cleaners just might be the greatest job in the world. So welcome back to the show, Ken. Are you ready to shine?
Woohoo!
It is so great to have you here that I can't believe I'm going to ask this question right off. Please forgive me, Ken. Before we dive right into things, are our money challenges our parents' fault?
That's what we think. But when we grab our parents, both of my parents passed away now, so I can't do that physically. But if you grab your parents, hey, it's your fault. They'll say, no, it's my parents' fault. So, and then when you grab your grandparents, they would say, no, it's not my fault. It's theirs. So you have to grab your parents, grandparents, grandparents, and there will be like soon 16 people that you have to persecute.
There's a song coming to mind. I grew up a good Jewish boy, went to Jewish school, Catholic school. I got all of these wonderful traditions in here. But the word tradition comes to mind, and I'm thinking of a Broadway show, Fiddler on the Roof. And the song that comes to mind is, if I were a rich man, this concept that you had to work and slave and that there was no way coming from our culture that I could ever have money. And this gets at a key tenet today. What is our and what was our parents and parents' money blueprint?
Exactly. So we have been heavily influenced by our parents. That's like everybody can feel. But we don't know we have been influenced by your grandparents that you've never even met. And so my joy is to heal the money wounds that you have been carrying, not only in you, but for generations.
Wow. So this gets me thinking of, and I want to dive into money IQ and money EQ and determining our type, but it gets me thinking of the lottery winner. The lottery winner who gains money fast tends to lose money even faster. And that sounds like either it's uncomfortable or they weren't ready for it, but we hit this ceiling beyond which we have to, it's like a thermostat. And beyond our set point, we have to bring ourselves right back down.
Yes. And my analogy is more about a money container. You know, we are born with a certain size money container. So if you are born with a small one and then suddenly a big amount of money comes in and it cracks your money container and destroys your life. So you have to really know who you are, and you have to know when is enough and how much is enough. Otherwise, you're in this hell of wanting more. And even if you make $100,000, no, a lot more. And even if you earn $200,000, 1 million, but still, if you have 2 homes and 1 helicopter and 3 Mercedes, it costs a lot to maintain. So you have to know when, and you need to have more skills to be satisfied with where you are. Otherwise, you are in this constant battle, a rat race.
Thank you. Let's dive into money IQ. The title of the show may even be What's Your Money IQ Type? Because I want people to get this. And I wonder if we can go through some of these types. I have a list if you don't have them all over the top of your head. But I looked at what I am or what my baseline strategy is. And I've healed a lot of these wounds, although I was discussing with you earlier, our container keeps getting larger and larger as we're growing. And as you get to be a high flyer, you start to recognize these wounds that you thought you had fully taken care of. So
Yeah.
my type is or was, we'll call it a was, but I'm sure there's still something in there. The hoarder, spender, money making addict. I love making money. I'm really good at it. I tended to hold on to it too much. And then when I would allow the gates to open, then I would just say, oh, I'm good, and spend a bunch and go right back into worry.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, everybody has a certain pattern that since our childhood, we have this strategy, what we should do with money. So it's interesting when I do give family counseling. Parents come in with 2 kids, and I ask them what they do, and it's interesting because even if you're born and brought up in the same household, your brothers and sisters could be like totally strange people to you, because you could be a saving type and your sister could be a spending type. If you think money should be saved, so 80% of allowance should be saved is one guy, right? So your sister could be spending more and ask you for a loan. So it's interesting. I think we are born with a certain characters, not only money, but just characters itself.
Thank you. So maybe we could talk about a few of these types. What can you tell us about the hoarder and spender, or the repressed spender?
So, people who are afraid of money, afraid of life, they need to have money to feel secure. So that's why they try to pinch every penny and then save it in your piggy bank or in a bank. So one day, a rainy day, when something bad happens, this is a security. Saving $5, $10, $3,000, $5,000, that's fairly healthy. But if you go over like $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, how much is enough to feel secure? So when you think of it, it is kind of hard to go this way. If you keep saving, you cannot save enough to feel secure. So that is not actually the right path if you want to feel secure.
And that also gets to the compulsive saver, which really you're talking about, and the compulsive spender, who just binges on spending, and everything coming in goes right back out.
Yes, it's like food. Some people abuse food. People have a hard time controlling the appetite. It's the same thing with money. Some people are broken in their brain system that they have to keep making money. They have to keep spending money to feel powerful, or at least you're in control. So it's the same kind of addiction with drugs and alcohol and all the other substance abuse. So unless you are careful with what you do, it's so easy to fall into traps that many of the marketers dug for you. They spend billions of dollars creating marketing strategies to make you buy something. So you have to be very aware of what's going on.
Thank you. That gets us to another one, which is if we look at the pendulum swinging, and I know we have a lot of people in our audience who are this category, the hippie.
Yes, the hippies are, I don't have to explain about them. They stay away from the material world, so they try to live by growing your veggies or at least stay away from capitalism. One of my friends live that way. They live in the mountains, and I was visiting with a friend of mine, and then the guy who lives with the family, he said, but the rent is expensive. And he said, so we asked him how much, and $200. And I thought, well, that's not so expensive, right? And I thought it's a month, but he said a year. And like, what?
Jaw hitting floor.
Yeah, because the owner is like 80 years old and he doesn't care. It's nice that somebody, young people, live in his property, and then he'd be happy. So, and he was saying that he gets more vegetables, from the neighbors than $200. And they bring in fridge, TV, because they got the new one. So I didn't buy any of these. And then he was surrounded by like somewhat old TV, but still you can watch TV, and internet is there these days. So he's not complaining about paying $200 a year rent and almost no cost of food for vegetables and rice because everybody gives something to them.
See, that brings up a cool concept. And we'll go back to money EQ here in a little bit because I'm interested how we change or move beyond our personality type. But it's not about how much money you have or don't have. It's about, isn't it, your relationship with your money?
Yes, I'm so happy that you understood my book or the concept of my book. I have noticed about the qualities of relationship that people have. I've interviewed millionaires, billionaires, and hippies, and I have a whole strange spectrum of friends. And it's interesting because my friend is complaining. He has like 3 public companies, and he's complaining that about his financial situation. And I ask him, but why? Like, I lost some money big, probably like 10 US million dollars, but he has so much. So like $10 million is like maybe $100 for us.
Yeah.
So, and oh, really? That's a big money. Yeah. So sometimes I feel like somebody stabbed me in my chest. And then my hippie friend, got like $100 from his aunt or something. And he's like, he was overjoyed, like he got $1 million, lottery ticket, and it's $100. So $10 million, for this guy, it's nothing, but still, like it's so huge for them, and for just $100. But I'm sure it made him happy for months. So it's not how much money you have or how much money you don't have. It's how you relate to money. If you relate money to be your self-worth by numbers, you have to be happy, irritated all the time by looking at the, E-Trade chart of like how much your net worth is. And it's sad.
If you think of money on a minute-by-minute basis of like on E-Trader, then sooner or later you are going to be crushed. Your ego is going to destroy you because what you're saying is there's a wound in my heart and it must be filled by just the right money decisions. And if I make a bad decision, like this gentleman who owns 3 companies, 3 publicly traded companies, if I make I'm going to put it in quotes because that $10 million loss may actually steer him in a very positive direction. But if I make a bad decision, then I'm a bad person.
Yes. Or at least I'm not enough person. And it drives you crazy because even if you make $1 million a year, you start to hang out with people who are making more money. So their toys are getting more expensive. It used to be like secondhand cars, and now brand new Mercedes, now a boat, a yacht, a helicopter, or a private jet. And a friend of mine who complains about his private jet being too small. It seats only 6 people. His friend's, jet is a big jet. So it's like a President Air Force One. So my plane is just a small. I bump into my head when I stand up. So it's not a luxurious flight. So. Okay, so what is enough and when is enough? So unless you have beforehand, you'll be so pulled into this money game. So we have to be all careful, and we have to teach our children to know when is enough. I met only a couple of people who said, I have more than enough because I'm wealthy. One of my mentors, Wahid Takeda, he said, I'm rich, and so he said, I have more than enough that I cannot spend money in my life. I haven't met many people like that. Yeah. Many people complain like, I don't have enough. I worry about how to make both ends meet. So mostly very negative words around money. And unless you you start having a positive conversation around money, you'll be stuck emotionally forever.
It's interesting. Money and emotion so go both hands in hand, but what's fascinating to me is what you think about, you bring about. If you're
Mm-hmm.
complaining about the money that you have to spend, have to,
Mm.
I'll put that in quotes because I would say get to, I go from have to get to honor to. If you are complaining about the money that you are honored to spend, you
Mm-hmm.
tend to have less of it. If you, as you started the show, go, I get to pay this money, I'm honored to pay this money, woohoo! You're playing an energetic game now, Ken, aren't you? And more money comes back.
And if you are not attached to it, sometimes it comes back and sometimes later. When I became an author, I started distributing. Well, before I became an author, I started distributing my booklets. It cost me $1 per booklet,
Mhm.
and I gave away about 100,000 copies. A publisher called me. So, in a sense, I paid $100,000 for a ticket to become an author. And afterward, I kept on going. So I spent about $2 million in book giving. And I sold about 8 million copies. So I must have got something at least 10 million US dollars worth of book royalties. So I gave away $2 million, and I gained back 10 million US dollars plus more. So there may be a little time gap, but what you give will be multiplied and be sent back to you in a happier money. So that's why I always talk about giving um, just a small portion of what you have, and then see what happens.
What I like most about what you're saying is it sounds like I'm going to come back to this word honor. It sounds like it was your honor. You felt like you were doing a good service to people by giving this out. This wasn't a, well, I'll give a bunch of these out and I'm going to make a bunch of money and I'm just going to go take and run. This was a, how may I help you? How may I serve?
Mhm. Yeah, so people are attracted to a satisfied person. It's like going out on a date too. If you really hungry for relationship, like I want a boyfriend, I want a girlfriend, like, and then you're in a party, like just have a chat with everybody. People notice like, oh, this guy wants too much. This person is too needy. But if somebody is fully satisfied and just start sharing who he is or who she is, uh, I think we are attracted to that kind of person. And the money is the same thing. If you don't need money, that's the time when you start making more money. So that's why I think financial independence is very important. Uh, because after you achieve financial independence, you don't have to make money anymore. That means you can give money genuinely. That's when you start giving. That's what you start giving so much without any expectation, and that's why you're getting back so much without knowing why. And my mentor said, after you become wealthy, the funny thing is that's the beginning that you're going to be more wealthy because wealth creates another wealth.
It's fascinating to me. The better we do with our show, with our business, with everything, the more stuff comes to us. The more people want to
That's right.
give you stuff. The more you
Yes,
have, all of a sudden, the more they want to give.
yes. And once you're successful enough, you don't need money. For example, I was like last not this year, but a year ago, I noticed that for the past week, I didn't spend any money because somebody took care of the bills. I was invited to lunch, dinner, and everything was paid by my friends and by my clients. So I didn't have to pull out my wallet. In fact, I didn't even pull it out from my car. So I was amazed that I could afford to buy dinner for them, but they were so happy to do it for me. So once you have more than enough, people start giving you so much.
This gets to a valuable concept, which
Hmm.
is And this is actually a really difficult one in the States, and maybe it's throughout the Western world. And I was thinking about this with my parents and my dad's birthday coming up, and how growing up, I love my parents very much, but gifts always came with strings. They were,
Yes.
I like to say the gifts were weaponized. And so
Mm-hmm.
here in the West, we have a very hard time accepting, receiving. And I believe that can cut off the flow. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said it so right. It's not only the West. I think it's the same in Japan, and usually there is some hidden message in the gift. I give you this, so you become a good boy. I give you this, so you take care of my retirement. So
Yes.
it's sometimes not hidden. It's obvious because some parents say that to their kids. I brought you up, so now payback time. So
Yes.
yeah, so it's very obvious. So we're not used to this unconditional giving and unconditional receiving. So a mastery road to financial independence is conditional giving and conditional receiving. And in the process of learning that, you feel more depressed and frustrated and so happy and overjoyed, and you experience so many emotions on the way, and then finally you just bump into this beautiful road, like, wow, this is this heaven, that what you give unconditionally will come back immediately. I started the campaign or book giveaway, in the depressing time. I thought, okay, maybe I just can give away my books that are in my storage unit. And so, okay, I decided to give away 1,000 books.
Yeah.
Cost me about $10,000 or more. Uh, but it's okay because now it's a cleaning up time, and I did that. So the day that I announced doing that, all my past books got reprinted. I got an email from publisher saying
Wow.
the book royalties that I get are the same amount that it's gonna cost. It's gonna cost for giveaway. So like, wow, that fast? I haven't even shipped the first book. Then I gotta get the money. So this is how fast it gets. So once you know that, okay, I always have a chat with abundance goddess in my imaginary world.
Oh,
Okay,
tell me
goddess.
more.
Okay, goddess. If that is a deal, how about this? And I gave away this much, and I got this much. So I'm writing a book on unconditional giving and receiving, because that is really the key to financial happiness too.
Is there such a thing as giving away too much?
I don't think so, because what you give will always come back in different form, not necessarily financially. That is something that people miss out. Yesterday was my mentor Wahei Takeda's. It could have been 89th birthday, or 88th and 9th birthday, depending on how to count. So we had a fun meeting at the clubhouse from 7:30 to 11:30. People didn't leave, so we had so much to share about him, and he was a strong believer in giving. He always had 10 or 20 gold coins in his pockets. So whenever he sees a beautiful smile, he congratulates a person and gives away a beautiful solid gold coin that could cost $800 or $900.
Wow.
Yes, and the person who receives a gold coin goes like, it's obvious because it's heavy. Not many people have ever touched a gold coin, but just tiny size, but it's so heavy, so it's not just other thing. It's wow. So gold really is heavy, and then sometimes people cry because they have never received a gold medal in his life or her life. And Wahei says, this is the congratulations to you. So please keep smiling for the rest of your life. And later he says to me that, I just did a nice shopping. And what shopping? And he said, I bought a lifetime of smile of her and with only like a $900. What a bargain! And
Woohoo!
yeah, but I didn't get it. Like, but you lost gold coin, and you're not getting anything. I didn't get that concept. And he said, no, 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 no. I'm not getting, anything, but the people who surround her, her kids, her parents, her neighbors, her customers, they all receive the benefit. But I said, but you didn't get anything. I think it's a very Western type of thinking. Like you didn't get it. But he said somebody did, but that means I receive it too. So that is a concept of abundance.
Thank you. And to me, my mission is about raising consciousness, elevating people's vibration, raising up humanity. And if
Hmm.
you do that for another, even if it doesn't come back directly, a rising tide lifts all ships. She's going to do good because of that, and her smile is infectious, and what she's going to do is infectious, and what the next person is going to do is infectious, and what her kids are going to do is infectious. And so it really does help everyone. So that $900 gets amplified. It's going to have a ripple effect that just keeps on going.
Right, and he knew it. And the other question really shocked me. He said, "So, from a gold coin perspective, which place is a happier place, my pocket or her pocket?" And it's of course her pocket because you have so many. So you're just one of them, right? In his pocket, but in her pocket, in the morning, she picks it up and looks at, oh, I got a gold medal. I should smile. And then in the lunch break, she'll probably touch it, feel, and then look at it. And before she goes to sleep, she touches it, says thank you, arigato. So I got the lesson from him. So when I have envelopes in my bag.
Yeah.
It contains $10, $50, and $100, equivalent to Japanese yen. So whenever I meet somebody who had a car accident, I give away this, sympathy envelope. Whenever somebody gets married, I have this, this happy wedding envelope and happy birthday envelope, and I have all kinds of gifts in my bag. It's like Santa Claus. And then I always take any opportunity to congratulate somebody.
There's a term. You said that his key words are arigato and
Hmm.
magokoro. In fact, you say
Yeah.
that we all get to maro up, which is I think what you're talking about. What does that mean?
If we raise our consciousness, we'll have a better place. But to do that, we have to be more generous, more gentle, more loving and caring, and that has to start with yourself. And your magokoro is a sincerity, a kindness, gentleness for yourself, because some people are very kind but very harsh on themselves. So you have to be as kind as to you and to others, and that's harder, And if you treat yourself as your best friend and best lover, you start to respect yourself. And that means that you want to pay the same kind of respect for other people. And if you start showing respect by being kind, being generous, you are almost like giving away a part of your heart. And then when you receive somebody's heart, um, you cherish it, enjoy it, and then give it to another people. I think in English, pay it forward is a
Yes.
word. And so I would say pay it for your heart. It's not a heart transplant, but just a piece of your love, a piece of your caring, gentleness to some other people. And if you do that, the other person definitely feels it, and it doesn't cost you anything because it's just a gesture.
Thank you. I'm going to address, as we talk about money wounds here, I'm going to address something that I've had numerous clients recently having to deal with. A parent or parents pass away, or a brother passes away, or multiple family members pass away. And now they've been gifted with an estate war
Mm-hmm.
where family members are turning each on each other and fighting for money.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get through this and how do we heal these wounds? It's as if you haven't been gifted with money. You've been gifted with a war.
Right. It's because their parents didn't teach their kids, how to be fair. I used to work in accounting field, right? So I know how ugly it could get, and it's not just how much, it's how fair. For example, even if you get paid enough, even if you get like if you have three siblings, and even if you get like 33% each, still there's a fight like, oh, I went to nursery home once a week. How about you? You visit maybe once a year? So like, okay. So, and they even ask me, is there any calculation, like how many visits and how many hours, and get like a deduction type of thing? Like, wow, I never thought about it, right? So it's just a feeling of fairness. And this didn't happen this year. It happened like 20 years, 30 years, and 40 years ago when all of your siblings were small. You get like three presents, and then I got two presents. So like they had scores from 40 years ago. And then finally it just kind of like pop up. So I always ask them, do you want money more important, or do you want your relationship with your siblings more important? Because like it or not, you probably have like another 10 years or 20 years. Do you want to cut him off or cut her off because you want, or because to get $5,000 more? So he's less worth than $5,000, and then they kind of get out of the trance, and then that's right. I almost lost my brother. Thank you, Ken, because I was in this trance, like I have to fight for my fairness.
Thank you. What is another key wound that people have to money, and how do you help wake them up and shift where they're at?
I think a lot of us are in this hell of scarcity. If somebody gets something, that means we're getting less. So because we think there's this zero-sum society. Somebody is getting more, that means we're getting less. So, for example, when somebody is doing well, we can congratulate them with our own heart. We feel like maybe we push the button like on Facebook, but we are not really congratulate them in our heart, because we think automatically if somebody wins, we lose. But the funny thing is, if you start congratulating everybody you see on Facebook or in real life, in fact, you're giving yourself permission to be a winner, to win relationships, to win a lottery, to get great promotions, or to get a good book royalty, a book contract, whatever that is. You congratulate them, because by congratulating, you open doors. So when I teach my students, whenever you see somebody do well, just think this way. He or she opens up a door and hold it for you.
Thank you. So I'm going to give you a tough one with a twist to it here.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Which is what you're talking about is a way of becoming an abundance magnet, an attractor magnet. Because what you're describing is how to be a great person, how to be an honorable citizen, an honorable friend, a friend of everyone. However, people, particularly in the West, can be saying here, well, if being a good person helps me attract so much money, then why is it some of the worst people I've ever seen seem to have the most money?
Bad people have certain attractions. Some of your friends may fall into bad guys, because they are attractive. So they have a lot of energy. So money is just a neutral energy. If you want it badly, the money will be there. So you have to want it enough to attract the money. And bad people have strong power too. So money gets attracted to whatever the biggest energy is. So it doesn't not necessarily attracted to good people. So if money has a choice, bad people with strong energy, good people with weak energy, money goes to bad people with strong energy.
Thank you, which means we really get to work on our energy, our wounds around money, if we want to be unashamed of saying, I want to attract money, and we'll even focus on that before money goes, aye, Captain, and starts coming to you.
A lot of people say that, Ken, it's so unfair. I've been helping people, and why this bad guy gets so much money? Oh, don't worry about it. Universe does a good job in this sense. So even if the big amount of money gets attracted to them, that doesn't bring them happiness, because this is happy money versus unhappy money. If you create money or attract money by using bad energy, the money is an amplifier, as we talked about. So you fall into this is the world of wanting more. A lot of youngsters end up being dead. Why? Because they cannot stop. It's almost like scissors and paper rock with a devil. If you win, the devil doubles your real net worth. And you can win maybe 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, but your luck runs out. Bad people, even they are good at attracting money, but it could destroy them, because the big energy tends to destroy people. Wanting more money is not the way to attract money. Giving something for other people is a lead to money, because money comes after you do some good.
Woohoo! Just a couple last questions, then we got to let you get to your wife. What else do you ask or discuss behind private doors with the abundance goddess?
Okay, so I always talk with my money and also with abundance God, because we are same. By the way, we are in the same team of making this planet more fun and more exciting. So because I had a deal in my 20s, I signed the paper. I made a paper, a contract paper with a goddess of abundance and me. My contract goes, I will do anything to make all the people around me happy and abundant. And in return, I get whole life security of money for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Is that a good deal?
I love it.
So I don't have to worry about money. And I actually typed it, and then I had my wife sign as a sign of goddess, and then I signed it. And since then, I have no financial worries or problems. It's been 25 years or something like that. So after fulfilling her contract with me, I have created a few more contracts, one after another. The other one is like, I will just start writing books to my fullest of my ability. So I get income of $1 million and then sign it. So I always keep upgrading. And right now, I'm starting a project with a goddess of abundance. She instructed me to make silver coins like Wahe Takeda. So I created happy money coins, made of silver. I specially made them, and I'm starting. I start to distribute them, and by giving people who do a good job behind scenes. Like an old man who sweeps the seashore for 30 years without people noticing it. So I want to congratulate people who are doing some good to the humanity without people noticing it. So the older people I congratulate, people don't know. So I'm just asking everybody, if you know anybody who are helping the world, let me know. And then I start giving my silver coin, and maybe in my 60s and 70s, I will start shifting to gold coins. But Right now, I think silver coins I can give as many as I want, but not gold coins yet. So
I'm going to make a tie-in, which may or may not exist. Forgive me, we're going over in time, but your dad, two things about your dad. And it sounds like I'm sure he was, look at you, he was an amazing human being, and he made a lot of people very happy. Two things. First off, the coin that you're giving away has not just symbolism with your mentor, but also has symbolism with your dad, who I believe said that the coin it has two sides to it. One is the God and one is the devil. And so there's a tie-in with your dad and the coin. And also, your dad's life was never the same after he helped so many people, but didn't give money to somebody in need because he didn't want that money to go to gangsters. He was going to give it to him later, and a tragedy took place. And the karma that you are doing based on these things, the symbol of the coin going back to your dad, and of what took place and the mission that you're on, I can't help but sew these things together.
yeah, so I always look at people, and then whenever they want to find the meaning of life, I always ask them to talk about their parents and grandparents. So life work is just a masterpiece of 3 generations. So if you just want to know the meaning of life, just start exploring your parents and grandparents. And my grandfather was died when he was 42, and my father suffered because of that. So I'm the masterpiece of 3 generations of love, suffering, and despair. So I always feel every day I have the blessing of my father, my grandfather, and all the other people, and they just say, "Ken, keep going." So I always feel so many people just support me from behind, not only ancestors, but my fans and all the people who believe in me. So if you just wake up in the morning and feel alone, don't get it wrong. You're not alone. Just think of your parents, grandparents, and grandparents. There will be tens of thousands of people who passed away. In Japan, we think that the people who passed away, a part of them still exist to help you. So this may contradict your religion, but just for fun of it, just imagine your grandparents and grandparents giving all the blessing when you feel like you're alone. And that itself will just carry yourself to the next level and keep on going. And I hope people will stay generous and kind to yourself. And then hopefully, if you are filled, if it ever overflows, please give it to other people. So that's my wish.
I'm crying. I've got actual tears. I didn't know that a talk on money could be this beautiful, Ken.
Great. Thank you.
This has been so beautiful. I've got to ask, where can people go to find your beautiful book, to find your work, and to find out more?
So all the information you can find at KenHonda, KenHonda.com. And you can find my Smiley Happy Money book anywhere in bookstore or Amazon. Or probably you can download in Kindle and on audiobook too. And I'll just keep on writing. I have to translate some of them into English. So doing this is such a great opportunity for me, Michael, and an honor to meet somebody like you. And so writing books brought me so many beautiful people. So you're one of them. So I always appreciate that. I'm so glad I did it. I didn't have any confidence, and that's such a hassle for me to write in English, but it's a biggest stretch in my life, but I'm getting a lot of rewards, and you are one of rewards.
Woohoo! I'm without words. I'm speaking, but I'm without words.
Thank you, Michael. You're such a beautiful human being, and I'm so glad your work is getting bigger, because United States needs more of you who are committed to healing other people and helping other people. I think one of the greatest things, by the way, that I respect America. No matter what happens, there are people like you. So I'm so happy to see you and Jessica healing the world. So I'll do anything for you if you need any help. So I'll be there, and I'll be there for you listeners energetically whenever you have a hard time. I'll be there to support you.
There's a Japanese expression. We'll see if I get it right. Honto ni arigato. Which, a
Thank,
very strong, honest, complete, rich, full thank you.
thank you so much,
This has been
and thank you.
so beautiful, Ken. Big COVID
So,
safe hug
yeah,
one more time, then I'll wrap things up.
yeah, thank you, everybody.
For everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun, get happy money, and begin being happier with your money and giving it away and seeing it come back and giving it away and seeing it come back today. And above and beyond all else, shine bright. Woohoo! Oh my God, Ken. Oh my God,
you.
oh my God, oh my God. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's rare that I cry in an interview when it comes to money, but wow, I wonder if Ken Honda touched your soul as much as it did mine on his talk about our ancestors, on giving it away, on this circulation, on healing our wounds, and about happy money. If so, give this a huge thumbs up. If you want to find out how you can channel your elders and learn about your purpose, path, and direction and get words of wisdom from beyond, get our new book, Automatic Writing. It is truly a process where you go into this state where Ken is living and talking with his abundance goddess, and you can literally get answers from the other side. You can find out more about it on Amazon. You can ask for it at your local bookseller. You can also get our video-based program with live classes at automaticwriting.com. If you want more incredible interviews like Ken Honda's, be sure to click here, subscribe below, click on the bell icon to be notified of all upcoming shows, YouTube premieres, and live events every Sunday night. And these things have taken off with me. Share, share, share if you enjoy this, and above and beyond all else, shine bright. Woohoo! Love you guys.